rolling?
You rolling?
Hi, welcome to the Semi-Woke Podcast. Did you see how good I just did there? I came in real soft.
You came in really.
voice.
You came in like Luther fucking Vandross.
Oh my love.
Yes.
1,000. Okay, I know. Don't get me started.
Oh, but you can sing.
I really can't. I sort of can.
You were given a little bit of Luther.
You know what? I do love Luther Vandross, and my girlfriend can sing really well.
I know. Felice could actually sing.
Don't say her name. Flower. It's okay.
Flower could actually sing. I'm so sorry.
She can sing her ass off.
Yeah, she
and on our
can.
second date, we sang, and I don't know what it was, but I think it's because I just was already so into her. I was singing really beautifully, and she was like, "Oh my god, you can sing!" And I was like, "Yeah, I can sing."
What did you sing?
We were singing so many different songs together.
What did you sing?
I don't even remember. All my favorite songs.
Like what?
Pretty much. I probably did sing some Luther Vandross. She loves R&B. She loves soul. And then every time I tried to sing after that, it just sounds like somebody just kicked a dog, on repeat.
you gotta train. You gotta train your voice like Celine.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I get some cock and ball torture. That's what I call it.
It helps the falsetto.
That's how you hit the real notes. Listen, welcome to the Semi-Woke Podcast, guys. This is a podcast where once a week, Sheria teaches me how to be woke.
Yes.
Sort of. She teaches me about one woke concept a week. And I think I'm doing okay so far. This is our third episode.
You're doing great. You haven't said nigger once.
Hey!
I like to start off with a nice cleansing
You can't
N-word.
say it and dangle it out there for me and not let me have a little taste of the forbidden fruit.
Yes.
That's literally never the word that I've least ever wanted to use.
Really?
Yeah, I've never, unless I'm in traffic. But other than that.
We're watching basketball.
Then I just can't stop.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
Like popcorn popping.
That's when you get a pass.
Welcome to the Semi-Woke. Sheria teaches me one woke concept. Should we start off with a little prayer?
Yes.
I'm going to light us an incense.
Okay.
We like to start every episode with a little prayer. Let's get that incense to light. And there we go. Stick it in our orange there. Very sacred. I will start. Dear Dominican Buddha. Let's just go. Let's start straight at the top, you know? Why not? We're not starting with any starter Buddhas. Please bless this episode. Bless all of our listeners and watchers, viewers. Bless us. Bless Sam, our recording producer. Sheria, why don't you take it from here?
And
the mic.
Thank you, Dominican Buddha, Almighty Papi.
Almighty Papi.
And we remember
dispassionate Papi.
That's right. We remember your greatest word, Dominican Buddha. I know black. I'm Dominican.
I know black. I'm Spanish.
I'm Dominican. What do you mean? I know black, Papi. I'm Dominican. Okay, that's not okay.
The biggest noble truth is I'm Spanish. I'm not black.
I know black.
I know black. I'm Spanish. Papi, I'm Spanish.
And it's always the blackest Dominican.
It's the blackest
it's
Dominican ever.
Dude that
like, bro,
looks
you
my
look like a
uncle.
voodoo doll. What are you talking about?
Literally.
You are blacker than a struck match. What are you talking about? Stop it.
They all look like my cousins, and they'll be like, I know black. What do you mean? I'm like, okay. Okay, cuz.
I used to live in Washington Heights, and it was... Yeah, I used to live in the Heights for a long time. Platano Heights.
I was just about to say, I know you was running through. I
could.
Dominican girls?
Actually, Dominican girls really liked me. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of all women as long as they're Asian. And I did. I would meet Dominican. You know what the problem was in the Heights?
Yeah.
Is that I didn't speak Spanish,
Yep.
and neither did they, actually. But they spoke it because I used to go there with friends from Spain, Mexico, other places. They'd be like, they're not speaking Spanish. And I'm like, okay. But I would go there, and there would be a huge language barrier. I remember one time I went to one of my favorite restaurants. It was called La Nueva España. Amazing chicken
Shouts.
there, yeah. And
Our new sponsor.
And I was always having a flirtatious vibes with this woman there. And then I somehow mustered up the nerve to be like, hey, do you want to go out or hang out? She was like, see. And then I met her after work, and we're just kind of staring at each other outside La Nueva España, and she's like, I'm going to call the car. And I was like, okay. And I was like, she left the car, the car arrived, and she got in the car, and she just kind of left the door open, And I was looking at her for like 30 seconds, and then she just closed the door.
Are you
and
kidding
she
me?
drove off. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's some bold ass shit. That's some bold ass way to ghost somebody. Just be like,
it was my fault.
changed my mind.
She was like, I hesitated. I didn't know what to do though. I was like, where are we going? We didn't have a plan. But I used to go to like some of the Dominican nightclubs and stuff uptown. And
did they think you was Dominican?
No, they thought it was very exotic. Right? Because they were like, what's going on with this guy? His hair is wavy. He's got loose ringlets.
Yeah.
You know, it's not... they were like, what's going on? But he's dark. And, you know, they knew I was Indian. So
they did? Okay.
But again, there was there was a huge language barrier.
Oh.
You know?
I was really hoping for a story where somebody was like really into you until they found out that you wasn't like Puerto Rican.
No! Dominicans are the horniest people on earth, okay? I don't think they discriminate like that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they racially discriminate.
Also, Dominicans love Indian people. There's like a whole thing of Dominicans and
Listen,
Indians.
one time we need to get in the. Here's one of my most intense Dominican interactions.
Although it's similar. It's
somewhat. Actually, yes, this is. This is a good segue into our topic. Holy shit, this is a great segue. Here's why. I was on that one train riding it up top to 191st, which is where I lived at the time, and this really fine Dominican girl was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and she's just like smiling at me now, and I am beaming. I am like, oh my God, I'm gonna fuck tonight. Hell yeah, you know?
He's literally like,
it's like midnight after a night out or whatever, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like, this is incredible. And so she's smiling at me, I'm smiling, or my version of smiling, which is just staring back creepily at her. And you know, she comes up to me, she's like, are you Indian? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, she starts going off. She's like, I love Indian stuff. Da, 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 da. She's going off. She's like, I was like, what's your name? She's like, my name's Sumaya. I'm like, okay. She's like, that's not my actual name, but that's the name I go by. Now, Sumaya is not necessarily an Indian name. That would be like an Arabic name.
Okay.
But she clearly had like a brown boyfriend before that who was like, I'm gonna call you Sumaya, Habibi, you know? Hit her with like the Arabic name. And so she's like, I'm Sumaya, and da da da. And I had this really sweet, she was really young. She was like 5 or 6, she was like 10 years younger than me
was
at the
she
time.
legally
She was like
young?
19.
Is this the end of the podcast?
I was young. She was like 19.
Okay.
I'm like 29. And so I'm like, well, listen, I just hear me out. Let me finish the story. Okay. Itchy with the cancel fucking trigger finger there.
I was like, uh-oh.
And so, you know, I'm just like actually kind of more fascinated. She's really, really beautiful. She was very hot, just caked up, like really nice.
Barely
And
legal.
She was legal as hell. Okay. She was like 19, 20. I'm 29. It's not that big a deal. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, hey, I didn't know what age she was at the time. I'm like, let's go back to my place, because that's how subtle I was at the time. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. But she's like, I want to hang out. And I'm like, okay. So we go for a walk and we just hang out in the playground. We just talked for a long time, actually, because she was just telling me about her life and this and that. And then we met up a few times after that. One time she came and she brought me a watch. It was like in a box. And I was like, this is so sweet of you. This is so sweet. She was courting me in like a very old world brown traditional way.
Oh, is that?
So it was like she was very respectful. She brought me a gift and you know, we would do stuff. We would go dancing together, but we never fucked. We never fucked. We did make out once.
She wanted to wait till marriage?
No, but it was
she
just
was like a proper
It was
brown
the kind
girl.
of thing where I was like, she's such a sweet person. I'm like, I'm not just going to treat her like any other hoe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just going to like, I liked her a lot. And
Good.
and then the next time we just kind of fell off for a little while. And like 6 months later, I run into her. She was pregnant as hell.
Yep.
Pregnant as hell with like a little Arab baby or something.
I knew it.
you
I
know?
was going to say, I was like, she was trying to wife you down.
She really was.
Yeah.
She really was. She was like really approaching me in a very, but she was somebody who was really interested into Indian culture.
Yes.
And she was into.
And you didn't find that a little weird?
No, I don't. So our topic for today.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is semi-woke. This is the first gay straight collaboration since what?
Since Dua Lipa and the baby.
Okay.
Actually, no.
That didn't work out
That didn't
well.
work out. That did not work out well. I mean, it worked out for Dua Lipa. I'm sure the baby is still eating off of that
Oh
Dua
no,
Lipa
he's
money.
doing great. Dude.
He's doing horribly.
great.
But
No, he's not. The baby's still putting out good music.
Have you watched the news lately? The baby is literally walking around malls being like, I got free tickets to my concert, please.
Shut the
Literally,
fuck
there's
up.
videos
He's
of
not
people.
barking.
Yes, he is barking for his concerts and failing on camera in 4K. That's right. Any weapon formed against Megan Thee Stallion shall not prosper. And we have learned that.
Why? What did he didn't shoot Megan Thee
No,
Stallion.
but the baby, oh my God. My nigga, you really off the shit. So the baby did a song about Megan Thee Stallion, came out in favor of Tory Lanez, brought Tory Lanez to Rolling Loud, which
The same night that he did the thing where he's like, if you're not sucking dick in a park,
that was a different night, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, he was really on a tear. He was very self-destructive. Very self-destructive.
He was spiraling that weekend.
He was literally spiraling.
He was on like Adderall.
It
or
literally
something.
happened in one
He
week.
got into some like white drugs, some Caucasian
Literally.
drugs, and he like is feeling the fucking.
That's right. Never once cocaine. Never once. And then he brought Tory Lanez to Rolling Loud, which was against the protective order that Megan had against Tory Lanez.
Oh my God.
And it was a whole thing, and everybody was done with the baby. And then this was literally right after he came out with that thing with Dua Lipa. And it was over. It was over for him. Dua Lipa brought out a new version without him.
Oh my! I didn't know she did that.
Yeah, because she was
She just erased him, Kevin Spacey style, like from that movie.
that's
that he got.
fucking right.
Wow.
That's
Interesting.
fucking right. And then
Interesting.
he came out with a new video called The Boogeyman, and it was made off of $3 with a shitty fucking scream mask or some shit. And it did double turds. And he has literally not recovered since.
Double turd.
That's right.
Instead of triple platinum.
That's right.
Double doo.
Double doo-doo is what it did. It's really
love
sad.
that.
That's right. Anybody who talks shit about Megan Thee Stallion, Drake is next. Can't wait.
I didn't know that he did that. I don't know if I can fall into this rabbit hole with you because I just don't have the knowledge. And it's just you teaching me about young things.
Yes, I'm gonna, yes.
The first gay straight collaboration since not that.
Since not that. Okay, since RuPaul and Michelle Visage. Which one is the gay one? We don't know.
Whoever that last second person is. We got to keep it moving. We will educate
we don't have time to teach you everything.
Teach me everything. I'm sorry for you right now. I feel bad, you know? You're just cringing at my boomerness, at my boomertude.
There's so many things that I say that you're just like, what? Like, it's just like, so many things. It's so funny.
Okay, first of all, we do need to get into this, how you do routinely gay bully me. At this point, you queer bully me. Here's the first way that Sheria will gay bully me. I'll say something to Sheria. I'll be like, hey, you look really nice today. And Sheria will tell somebody else that we're around, my girlfriend per se. She'd be like, oh, he's so nice. He was like, girl, you looking, yes, you looking fine. She'll gay dub things that I say when she repeats them to other people. I'm like, Sheria, can you pass me the salt? Then he was all like, I can't even do the things because only you can do them. But you redub my voice as somebody extremely gay, like 90s gay too, you know, where RuPaul was first coming out, finger snapping.
You know, it's not just you. You know what it is? It's how I interpret a situation, and then I put it out.
You view the world through rainbow-colored glasses, is what you do. So everything I say to you, you repeat back in the fucking gayest way possible. It is hilarious. It's one of the funniest things on earth. It's like Google Gay Translate is what you have going on.
You know what it is, though? It's like literally, I don't even hear the actual words you're saying.
You just hear the spirit that it's in.
That's right. You're talking in whatever straight way, and I'm hearing something completely different. You'll say like, Sheria, what a fine looking day. And I'll be like, I'll see you being like, bitch, this is the moment. You are that bitch. And I'll be like, yes, thank you.
I wonder if like when you look at me, I'm here wearing like a muted kind of nice, but you just see me in sequins right now.
You are fully corseted. You are corseted. You're wearing a breastplate.
Fully yassified.
That's right.
You know, a breastplate. I've got glitter on my eye. It's in my eyelids right now.
Full beat.
It's pretty amazing. And so it isn't gay bullying, actually. That's a really special and beautiful thing. That this is just how you see the world.
But I do bully you because then I'll be mentioning something that is like very standard knowledge.
It's not standard.
Standard queer
I didn't
knowledge.
go to gay clown college, okay? Last week, we're having a normal text about, hey, who should we get as a guest for da 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 da. I say one name. She goes, I don't know who that is, but okay. Or I don't know her, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know her.
You know who this was, and you're like, Mariah, bitch, Mariah.
He don't know. I don't know her. The most iconic. I don't know. Sam is straight, right? Are you straight? Yeah. I don't know her. If I say I don't know her, who said that?
I don't know her, but okay.
I don't know her. Yes.
You said that because you heard me start off by saying.
Because Sam knows the tea, and you were missing out on this tea.
Did you really?
You said Mariah.
Oh,
Okay,
you don't know.
thank you. Thank you, Sam. God. Sam about to throw me under the gay bus right now, okay? Trying to throw me under the...
Do you know who she said that about, though?
No.
Fuck, really?
What's it about? Nicki Minaj?
Girl, it's about J-Lo, remember?
J-Lo. Sorry.
Oh my God, girl. There is
Sorry.
one about Nicki Minaj, though, but it's less iconic.
Okay, yeah, I remember there was a beef there with her. So I didn't know that, and she just keeps going off of me. How am I supposed to know Mariah Carey references?
Because
I am a cis, straight, a geriatric millennial male. Okay, all my references, I know about ZZ Top or something, all right? Not fucking ZZ Bottom, all right?
Bitch, you were on it. You've been on fire today, bitch.
What? I mean, I'm just saying.
Giving this week. That's great. ZZ Bottom is everything.
My references are a little different, but I'm here to learn per the premise of the podcast.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Should we get into today's topic?
Let's get into today's topic.
We're
Sorry.
talking about cultural appropriation.
Yes.
And we had started the story about Sumaya, the lovely Dominican woman.
What was her real name?
I don't even remember her real name.
That is so funny.
It was probably some Dominican Janelli or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Janellis.
That's right. Yes.
Dominicans have names like that. They like to
Yes.
add is to things.
Ariadne Dadatusta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
They really they come out with some names where I'm like,
I love Dominican names.
they are pretty amazing.
They're
actually.
amazing.
They're beautiful.
They sound witchy.
Yeah, they're like verbal kaleidoscopes.
Yes.
You know. So we're talking about cultural appropriation.
That's
today.
right.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think we could specifically speak to South Asian cultural appropriation.
Sure.
And Black cultural appropriation.
Definitely.
But I'm sure we could just. I vowed. I'm okay with speaking for literally everyone else as well.
Yeah. Let's do that. I mean, how do you define cultural appropriation?
I mean, okay, so like I think first of all we need to take the venom out of the word appropriation, because appropriation can be good and important as long as it acknowledges the thing that you're appropriating. I believe that. Yes. But I say a cultural appropriation is when you take a practice, a cultural thing from a different culture, and then you apply it to your own, even though you're outside of that culture. So like, I mean, we all engage in cultural appropriation. Mm-hmm. We just have to.
Yeah.
I engage in cultural appropriation. I be doing yoga. I be meditating. I used to chant even like a lot of times.
You never got my permission to do those things.
I know.
What are you doing?
I did it behind your back.
Wow, you stole it.
I fully did.
Oh my God.
But to be fair, I feel like there's been enough Indian dudes who rap every lyric of Jay-Z.
Who just say the N-word.
Who just say the N-word.
That's the thing. That is the thing that Indian males have had to deprogram. I am not one of those Indian males, by the way.
Yeah.
Because for various reasons.
Yeah, you didn't really grow up
Jersey.
in the hood, really, like.
Well, it's not about that. I grew up at the same. I loved hip hop. I loved all the cultural references. I had a lot of black friends growing up.
Yeah.
But
y'all wasn't like in the street, like you're not like Fat
back
Joe.
then too. You know, we was like, it wasn't a suburban area like that my friends were from.
Yeah.
But my black friends were from. But they weren't throwing the N-word around a lot either necessarily.
Yeah, because they were all in the suburbs.
It was a very diversified. They were people who came from a different area and were. And we were all in the same private school together.
Yeah.
So, you know, the black people that I grew up with weren't saying that word a lot,
yeah.
you know? So that's one reason. But Indian men, brown men in general, Pakistanis, they've all went through their era were like, we can kind of get away with this. If I just get a close enough fade and I line up my beard properly, I can say this word as much as I want.
And there's also mad like brown dudes with like sort of like a hood energy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Mad brown dudes with hood energy. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Back in my day, like there used to be brown dudes with cornrows and shit.
Definitely. I had during the pandemic, I used to rock braids because my hair was getting long.
I'm really mad at you for never letting me do your braids.
You know what? I'm mad at myself for that. Nobody did it.
You did your own?
There
cornrows?
weren't cornrows.
Oh.
I just had braids and I put a beanie on so it looked like I had cornrows.
Oh, okay.
I just needed to do something with my hair. It was so long at the
Oh
time.
my God, Opa,
I know.
you.
Listen,
I'm
next time my hair
moving
gets
in
really
here.
long, you're gonna cornrow my hair.
Yeah, but also if you can really braid, can you do my?
I know how to braid.
But you don't know how to cornrow.
I don't know how to
All
cornrow.
right, fine.
no.
Fuck. Ooh, Opa, I was about to save so much money. If I could come here, you could do my extensions.
Yeah, speaking of appropriation, do you want just my hair? Because y'all do be loving the Indian hair.
We really do. Honestly, at this point, Indian hair is black hair, and I'm just gonna say that Indian Remy is black people hair, and actually, you're appropriating us.
I agree. And same thing with the N-word. You know, that's ours now.
That's true,
It's
yeah.
not. But I mean, the cultural appropriation thing tends to. I think there's a lot of really annoying voices in this debate, though, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think there's
On
a lot
both
of stuff,
sides.
I think that yes, 100%. And I think that there's I think you summarized it pretty well on what I think is, and I don't consider that appropriation. I consider that's expropriation, right? When that's straight up stealing, right?
Yes.
And speaking as an Indian man, right? I don't like the term South Asian, but
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'm so sorry.
no, go for it. That is the woke. That is
I've
the way
been
woke
calling
people,
you that for a
Listen,
minute.
You can and you should because that is where you're coming from. That is like a more of a woke designation of Indians, and there's a lot of reasons why.
It's also just a non-specific.
Yeah.
So you don't be like, because a lot of them, you can't be like, oh, are you Pakistani or are you like oh
No,
wait, what?
I understand.
What?
I'm not virulently anti the term South Asian. I have friends who are. I like Desi. Desi's good.
I like
you
Desi
know.
too.
But one thing that you really do see, and that I do find really infuriating, is especially coming in the fields of like wellness now, spirituality. Wellness, all these things are really coming to the fore in American culture, and capitalism has its grips on it. And so what you see, and I will never fault like a white person who goes to India, learns yoga, studies the shastras, does all the things. I never fault those people because those are people who are really into the culture and they see these are universal knowledges and truths.
Yes.
And they're honoring them, right? And no teaching is something that's only this person can learn this or that.
Sure, yes.
It is not. Indian culture and Hindu culture specifically is very universalist in that sense. That's not. We can talk about the caste system, of course, another time. But in terms of knowledge itself, these aren't things that are, you know what I mean? So I see white people who are into yoga, who are into meditation, all of the non-dualism, stuff like that. And they really honor the culture, right? They're very serious about it. They study it. And they're very about that life. And I have full respect for them because these are the people who are pushing the Dharma forward, right? Well, the people that I don't like are the people who are like, hey, check out Jenny's yoga. You know what I mean? They'll just take a branch of yoga and be like, come on and learn the Jenny technique or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
The Wim Hof method. I'm like,
Yes.
bitch, that's like Tibetan and Indian yogic breathing techniques.
Yes.
That you're totally ripping them off. You're not giving any attribution. There's another guy, his name's Brian Huberman. He has a really huge podcast called Huberman Labs. It's a great podcast.
Okay.
It's really smart. It takes science-based tools for how you can improve your life.
Okay.
But, he'll take things like Yoga Nidra, which is a yogic sleep, right? It's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, yes, it's a non-sleep deep rest is what I call this. I'm like,
Okay.
motherfucker, you know what it is. The breathing techniques.
Yeah.
That's pranayam. Those are kriyas.
Yeah.
That's not just, like cardiac coherent breathing or whatever. I hate that shit.
So that's your issue is the like I'm trademarking and taking and pretending that it's my own.
Yes, I really despise
That's
that.
your issue.
That is my biggest issue, right? Because it's also very limiting because it actually cuts people off from what the actual truth is and
For
what
sure.
they can actually access,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
Because all of this knowledge is free to anybody.
Okay.
You go on Google, you go on YouTube, you go on Wikipedia, you see Indian motherfuckers there just like, here's how you do Bastrika,
Yeah.
fucking all the way in, right?
sure.
All of these texts on the Eckhart Tolle. He's another guy. I'm like, this guy's really appropriated so much Indian thought.
Yes.
And like,
And they're like, Eckhart Tolle came up with this.
yeah, and he'll give like little acknowledgments, but I see him looking very condescendingly and talking about Indian masters very condescendingly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this fucking little troll-looking motherfucker, like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
I don't know what he looks like. I've read a bunch of his
books.
books.
He looks like a troll.
Yeah.
He's like a tiny little. He looks like Gollum. You know, Smeagol. That's his vibe.
I didn't know that.
And I'm just like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
So I actually I don't know if I have the place to disagree with you, because
Go ahead, please.
my history is that I saw a Dateline. I had a mental breakdown, and then I quit my job, and I went to Thailand to do yoga and meditation and all this stuff. And of course, I met a lot of very wonderful people and some very, very annoying white people. And you have to, and I learned to sing the sutras from white people. I learned about pranayama. I learned about I learned all that shit from white people mostly.
Yep.
Unfortunately, and I've met a lot of those people who have taken that knowledge, and they wear the tattoos, and they know the terminology, and they're imparting the knowledge on all these other people, and it's just like some 25-year-old white dude named Brad.
Right.
And it's like a lot of those people, even if they're not trademarking their own special thing, they are taking this and they are not engaging with the culture in any real meaningful way. They kind of use that universal truth stuff as an excuse to ignore the historical impact of whiteness, period. I really do. Like, they'll be like, well, actually, the Buddha says that we are all connected, which means when you talk about racism, it's bad.
Right.
And
right.
I had like really bad, horrible, like, where they start really screaming at you, and I'm like, I don't think the Buddha wanted you to scream at a black woman right now, but like,
listen, I've been doing a joke on stage lately about white Buddhists. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Every time I hear a white woman tell me they're Buddhist, I'm like, here comes the meanest bitch on planet Earth.
Yes, though.
Every time.
Yes.
Tight-lipped.
Yes.
Sound goofy with the mantras. Om Namida Buddha Padmaneham.
Yes.
You're fired. That's their vibe. You're fucking fired. Okay? Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
I said oat milk, and you gave me almond milk.
Yes.
That's their vibe.
Yes.
They got the fucking Etsy store, Mandalas by Christine.
And they talk to people who were like taking care of them like garbage.
Exactly.
Yep. And
Hondo.
and there's also a sense of there's a sense of jealousy there, because white people do have culture. White people do have indigenous culture.
They do.
They do. And they just don't like to engage with it for some reason.
Well, look, there is a feedback loop there, right?
What do you mean?
It's like, I think you bring up a great point. There is an indigenous white culture,
Yes.
and it's a great culture.
Yes,
right? There's
the
some
fucking druids, the fucking
all kinds of stuff. Look, the Renaissance, all this stuff. Look, there's a lot of stuff built on the backs of colonialism.
Yeah, I was
whatever.
maybe not that,
but look, maybe not. Right? History, where we are in the present, is always an omelet made of many broken eggs.
Yes.
I think that's something that nobody can ever deny, and we all have to acknowledge.
Of course.
Right? So I don't love always getting into the blame game of da because after a certain point, nobody is innocent in that.
For sure.
We all have blood on our hands.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the nature of the game
Yes.
of existence. I do take your point, though. I think one thing that I think white people have become bored with Christianity, and they've hit such a wall with religion. Religion is passé to urban white people.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But they are left spiritually totally adrift, right? Because all that's left then is capitalism and consumerism.
That's right, yeah.
Right? And so they are always constantly looking for something. And if you look at even Western psychotherapy and stuff like that, it's all really pilfered and appropriated stuff. It's really a lot of Eastern thought.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's all Eastern spiritual thought. A lot of
Yes.
it that goes into ways of engaging memory.
Because that stuff actually that stuff works.
It does work. It does work. My own mental health, which is, at times tenuous, but generally I'm pretty fit.
You're You're fucking.
Listen.
You're on top of your shit, bitch. Like, for real.
I love you and I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
I work hard at it, and
Yes.
that all comes from sadhana, which is my own spiritual practice, right? Comes through reading, it comes through meditation.
Yes.
I'm not perfect. I'm no one's guru at all,
Yeah.
ever, but it does come through consistent practice. And so to me, I look at a lot of Western mental health stuff, and I also see a Western style therapist as well, because I think that's a good practice as well to be
Yeah.
externalizing
Yes.
in that way. And the guy that I see, though, is somebody who's extremely well read in Eastern literature and thought.
It has to be
you know?
somebody who's, yes.
And so I appreciate that. And this is a guy who acknowledges, he understands, he takes the sources of a lot of his commentaries from a wide array of materials, and it's not appropriation because he is honoring it. You know what I mean? He's acknowledging it. I can't stand when people will take something, though, and not acknowledge it. I want to hear more about your experience, though, with the hippie types.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is a pernicious, obnoxious industry of New Ageism.
Yes, and it's a lot of scams. It's a lot of scammers because, and I think that is because they are participating in the spiritual and the cultural and they go to India, they speak to a guru or whatever, and then they don't do any work to they don't do any work to break down or understand or do the shadow work of what have you internalized from capitalism? What have you internalized from your whiteness? What have you internalized from your upbringing that you are not unpacking alongside all this spiritual stuff? So now you've kind of just taken all these cultural and spiritual important things and you're using it to get bitches, or you're using it to
not only that, it's not just that they're not doing the proper work of unpacking that stuff. They're using the spirituality deliberately as a way to avoid that work.
Boom.
Right? Because they'll go A to Z and they'll be like, well, I'm just a consciousness in a mortal coil and that's it.
Yep.
And that's a wrap, everybody.
Yep.
And that is truth. That is a truth, right? That is 100% the truth that I can never stray from.
Truth.
It is the capital T truth of a situation, but it is not the only truth, and other things need to be acknowledged before you get there.
There you
right?
go. Yes.
Like, what constitutes the self? Who are you? You are always having to ask a question with non-dualistic Eastern thought of its constant self-examination.
Yes.
And so you have to be doing that before you just come around to, I'm just basically a gaseous substance trapped inside a body. That'll be $59.99. Thank you.
Boom. Yes.
Thank you for coming to Jenny's seminar.
And they get upset with this is just based on my experiences. I spent many years with these people. They get upset when you discuss a lot of those hippies. I was over there during when Trump was getting elected and stuff. Yeah. And a lot of those hippies were just this is not anything that concerns me. This is all just a circus. Mm-hmm. The real truth lies within. And it's okay, but there's actual harm being done to people, maybe not to you because you have a trust fund and you live on a beach somewhere, but there's harm being done. And shouldn't we, as if you're so spiritual and isn't part of learning that, bringing that out to others and trying to stop harm, you know what I mean? Trying to mitigate the suffering of others with what power you have and what knowledge you have and and being kind to others.
Listen, one of the biggest atrocities of all of this is that the victims of capitalism get none of this sadhana, none of this they're not allowed to access any of the spiritual practice.
Yes,
and it's the victors of capitalism who all scoop it up because they're bored with Christianity.
Boom,
you know
and it's not just bored with Christianity,
and they're bored with their therapist,
yes.
and they want to feel something deep. They want to feel the light within.
Of course,
I get it. But it is, you're right. It's a very pernicious trend, right?
Yeah. And it's not just bored with Christianity too. I think a lot of those people are traumatized by Christianity, deeply traumatized, and they want a spiritual connection that is separate from the trauma that
100%.
So I do understand that. I do understand that. But when you're being conscious, be actually conscious.
Right.
You know what I mean? And look, I am not immune because I too was sitting up in the beach accessing all that shit as a little black Bed-Stuy girl, not with no knowledge of any of that. I people were very judgmental. A lot of these spiritual types wear it like a Gucci bag. You know what I mean? They wear their spirituality. So when I came there, when I first came to Thailand, and I was on the beach, I was at the sanctuary, I was on the bays, and I didn't know anything at all. I didn't know what the chakras were. Mm-hmm. I literally knew nothing. I didn't know anything about yoga. I didn't know anything about meditation. I knew nothing.
You were like, I'm just going to the beach and I need to fucking chill.
I dead ass was I was there to learn that stuff.
Okay.
But I didn't know it, and the judgment that I received for not knowing it. I literally was mocked by all these people, a bunch of people. There were also, thank God, I would have left, but there were also people like my friend Erin who does cacao ceremonies and stuff.
Shouts to Erin.
Shouts to Erin. Who took me aside and in a non-judgmental and very kind way, led me through a lot of this oogie spooky stuff that changed me for the better forever.
Right.
And there were also people who made me like not even, I was like, is this what y'all do? I don't want to be like y'all. You know what I mean? Who were very like, you don't even know what that is. Like,
yeah.
like, and white people who had just learned this shit like 2 years ago.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
definitely see this in spiritual communities. You see this in all spiritual communities, and it's obviously totally contradictory to what is meant to actually happen.
Yes, and if you don't know that, you'll be turned away from it.
And in a way, it's kind of fucking hilarious, though, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
You stole this shit.
People who are just like...
You stole it, and now you laughing at me because I didn't steal it.
It is really funny. And it's also funny because they're supposed to be dispassionate, compassionate, all that.
Yes.
And this is, you know what I
This
mean?
is
Their
what
ego
they
is
do
still
with it.
fully in control.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And they're telling you have to dismantle the ego.
Well.
And it's like, but you're all ego. It's like,
hundo.
I ain't never met a bitch that's more ego than you.
Hundo.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
people love talking about ego death now. I'm like, bro, ego death isn't just... People are like, I just achieved ego death.
I
I'm
just
like,
did
I
it.
don't think
No,
so.
that you saying that literally contradicts that.
I was like, the fact that you're saying it did not happen, bro. Exhibit A.
Yes.
Exhibit A. You're
Yes.
still trapped in samsara. Look, Indian appropriation, you know what I have noticed? Very interesting trend, and maybe you can comment on this, is black appropriation of Indian stuff.
Yes,
Not
hi.
just hair. Not just hair.
Not just hair,
No,
yes.
but it's in a way that is more expropriation. So there's this trend that I've noticed now of people talking about Kemetic yoga.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. Keep going.
Okay. So what is Kemetic yoga? Kemetic yoga, they're like, actually yoga's Egyptian, and it was invented by black people.
Okay, no.
This is the TikTok that I have heard.
This is the TikTok that you heard. That's not exactly it. No,
Okay,
no.
tell me.
No. There was, people try to deny that there was movement between Africa and India and that there was travel and that there were like...
So you are a Kemetic yoga
enthusiast?
advocate?
No. I am. I honestly...
Okay,
I believe,
teach me then.
I believe that there were things that were brought from India to Africa and Africa to India and that there was a version of yoga in maybe not yoga, but there's differences between Kemetic yoga and the actual that were lost in they aren't there's no there's no like things were burned. A lot of knowledge was burned in Africa and stuff like that. A lot of knowledge was deliberately destroyed.
Okay.
So I do believe in that. I do believe also that black people have a tendency, it's not just Indians. Yeah. Black people have a tendency to, because of the destruction of so much of our history and so much of physical knowledge, we tend to try to be like, actually, black people were the first Japanese.
I know. Listen, you know what? Here's the thing.
And we do that with Kemetic yoga as well.
I think you bring up a really great point. This is one thing. Like, you know, in the 90s, when I was growing up, there was always a running joke about black names. Right, in America, like Shaniqua and it's so funny. It's a funny sounding name. Where are they even coming from? And I always fucking respected that, actually, even at that age, because I knew enough about history where I was like, this is basically a fully deracinated people who are brought over here. And what? They're supposed to be like, I'm John. I'm John Smith. Like, fuck that. Of course I'm going to make up my own shit. I'm going to create my own culture based on everything around me. And look, let's be real. That's how we obviously have to talk about black appropriation of black culture. But when you think about the greatest form of music that has arisen in the past 50, 60 years, hip hop. What is that, right? That is taking everything that's available to you, right? In a world that you are denied everything and making something gold out of it, right? Boom. And so I 100% do respect that tendency and understand. Well, I mean, I really understand it. You know what I mean? I do understand it, right?
And I respect it sometimes.
Look, this is how culture starts. So it doesn't start from somebody who uses a napkin at the corner of their mouth and, you know, whatever the fuck, right? And is and it's not a top-down ivory tower thing. Culture always comes from the ground up. And so maybe we don't love that it's not... it doesn't have the like epistemological weight that something else does.
And I believe that Black people's desire for that, like, oh, it's authentic culture that happened way before, and we didn't just make it up or take it from something else and create something new, which is how culture is created. Yeah. This existed. I understand the inclination to do that, but I think we need to deal in reality. We need to deal
Every
in
culture
reality.
does this, though. And the reason why white people get shit on the most is because they're the best at doing this.
And because they killed a lot of people. To do
Yes,
it.
they killed a lot of people to do it. But every culture wants to be like, actually, we were the first
Yes.
to fart.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
Farting is actually our thing.
For sure.
And you guys are all appropriating. And then
For sure.
Indians are the kings of that, right?
Yes.
We're the queens of that. We love doing that, right? Because it's a very old civilization.
And you have records.
And we have a lot of written
You
records.
have
of
records
things.
dating back before most
Hundo,
people.
Hundo.
Yes.
So Black people do that. Everybody does that. Everybody likes to be like, well, we are the most ancient of all the peoples. And yeah, that means Earth actually belongs to us.
Yes.
And
I mean, like, let's get into hoteps, like, because like
Hotep
a lot
vibes,
of the
yeah.
because a lot of the Kemetic yoga
That's a big
discourse
time hotep
is
shit
a
gone wild,
hotep.
yeah.
A lot of the hoteps take over a conversation.
Yeah.
There's I do believe there were African people who were doing who learned yoga, who learned certain things from traveling, like.
now we're getting into another area, though,
Yeah,
right? Where
what?
we're talking about, and I don't deny what you're saying at all.
Yeah.
But the fact is okay, how old are human beings? How old is human culture actually?
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of dispute about that now. Not dispute, but traditional academics are getting very upset with people. There was some dumb documentary on Netflix. It was like Ancient Apocalypse or something really stupid. But, it's really positing that there's a history of humanity that we have no idea about that was lost in the flood.
Yeah.
Right? But continuing on. Go ahead.
No, oh yeah, I do believe that we have learned from other cultures, and that then becomes part of our culture. I do not believe that we were the first people to do yoga. I do not believe that that white people are aliens and that they were put here by Satan to let's just put that on the record.
I love hoteps, and I'm something of an Indian hotep myself. Okay, I will say that I am an Indian hotep. What?
You're not an Indian hotep.
I am an Indian. I'm a hotep when it comes to
In what
Indian
way?
stuff.
Then you're not a hotep. That's different. Hoteps literally invent wildly ridiculous fake history and then yell at you for not believing it.
Okay.
Like, hoteps literally believe that, like, King James was black and that he...
Right. So I consider, when I consider hoteps, I'm like, these are African originalists. Right. That's how that is my polite way of talking about hoteps.
I think that's your way because you don't have to deal with them.
You're right. You're right. I do
They're
just
not
admire
in
them
your
from afar.
DMs telling you
Well,
not to give your
listen,
uterus
you
to
know
the white
what?
man.
I love hoteps. You know why I love hoteps? Because they're acknowledging something in their past that has nothing to do with Western religion, okay, and Western influences, and that is something that should be embraced.
No, they are not doing that. They are taking Western ideals, which are the only ones they know of, especially Western ideals of patriarchy and Western ideals of fucking, hierarchy and hegemony. Yes, because their whole thing is like, black man is the sun.
Oh, are these like the 5%ers?
Yes.
They're hoteps?
My dad was a 5%er. That's
I
so
didn't
funny.
know that.
You didn't know that?
My favorite interaction I just moved to New York City. I'm like 19 years old or something, and I'm walking through Times Square. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I just see these guys on a street corner. They're all dressed like Stevie Wonder. So like 78 or whatever when he was doing the braids and the robes and stuff. They're all out there, and they've got like a palette with like various white men on it, and this guy's just going on, and he's like, the white man has descended from apes.
Yes.
Crude, disgusting, dirty apes. Exhibit A. Look at the hair. Let me show you, for instance, a Chuck Norris. He pulls up a picture of Chuck Norris on this palette. Takes it off. A Tom Selleck, pointing at Tom Selleck. Just pointing at various like hairy white sex symbols. and being like, this is evidence that white people are actually the only ones descended from apes. Black people are superior.
That might have gotten me. Tom Selleck might be descended from apes.
I was like, A, I think I found a new religion. And I was like, B, I think I'm living in the right place, New York City.
Yes.
Those are hoteps.
Yes.
Love it. I'm
Yes.
even more into hoteps now, and I even more consider myself an Indian hotep.
Yeah. I can't
now.
believe I never told you that my dad was a 5%er.
don't think you
He
ever
talks
did.
about it a lot, or he
love
talked
it.
about it a lot. Yeah, no, that's what they are.
That is the vibe.
That's
I
what
love
they
it.
are. The men in the purple, the dude in the dudes in the purple robes that are like
Here
screaming on the
come
street.
The men in purple. Okay,
Literally,
sorry.
literally, yes. So here they come. Let's go the other way. Like really, those are hoteps, and they believe that the black woman is the earth, the black man is God or the sun, and white people are the devil. And
All of that checks out to me so far. Okay, so show me where they're wrong.
white people are the devil. Other than that, though, it's wrong. Like, they really believe they're like black women on the sun, and that's the black women on the earth, and that's why we must step on them. And like that's why they really believe in that. And I'm like, this is just patriarchy and hegemony. Same with the white men descended from apes. Look at the shape of their heads, and I'm
Right.
like, hey, you're just doing old school racist phrenology,
Race science, yeah.
on the other side, like
Which is a beautiful feat of appropriation, by the way. It's like, yeah, no, you're right. You can tell the quality of your person by the shape of their skull. It's just that your skulls, white people, are the most deformed and fucked up.
But the thing is, like, okay, all right. We might get canceled for this, and I'm sorry, Sam. I apologize.
We
Sam.
prayed to Dominican Buddha to not get canceled, and he will not fail us.
He will not fail us. Okay,
Because he's not black. He's
that-
Spanish.
He's that. I know cancel you is cool, but I do sort of. There is part of me that maybe does have to unpack this, but I do sort of believe that white people are bad in certain ways. They have a history of doing lots of bad things. But if that is true, if we are better than white people morally, then why would we just take white things that have oppressed and destroyed the earth and do it ourselves? That is not proving that we're better than white people. That's proving that we just want to take master's tools and become master.
This is my contention about why we need to start to try to shift away from race, because it's not about race. It's about humanity and our essential pernicious nature, right? Of just being a little fucked up as people. All these structures of pointing fingers at people, everybody now adopts them.
Yeah.
To point them at each other,
Yeah.
right?
But those are just the same structures that are used to oppress us.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's all about power. That's the thing about it.
Now
It's all about power.
Boom. Once we stop like jockeying for power and jockeying for control and jockeying for being at the top of the hegemony, then we can actually do the work of like creating a culture outside of the paradigms of whiteness and capitalism, blah, 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 to create something better.
Yeah.
And then we can appropriate from other cultures and have like some sort of moral understanding of what is right and what is good, and knowing that hegemony is bad,
Right.
hierarchy is bad, and what is good is taking care of the earth and each other and, you know, the animals, right? That's what is good ultimately. And like these black men telling black women to walk 5 steps behind them, and you know, and that, you know, fucking white people are the devil, but you know, we got to be just like them, that's not helpful. That's appropriating white culture as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Any patriarchal black patriarchy
Listen,
is white cultural appropriation.
you're going to hear this from me on many fronts from now. You can't center white people at at the center of existence. You can't put them at the center. Listen, white people have only been in charge for like maybe 1,000 years.
Yeah, and they fucked the whole shit
The shit's been fucked up.
It wasn't this fucked up.
This shit's been fucked up.
Not global warming fucked up. Not uninhabitable Earth fucked up.
It's just the tools keep proliferating.
And it's not white people. It's not white people. It's capitalism. It's
For
capitalism. Sure. And capitalism uses whiteness, blackness, race, as a way to perpetuate itself.
Right.
Capitalism can't exist unless there is whiteness, which isn't a real thing. Yeah. It's not a real thing.
I want to talk about where are we at on time, Sam?
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Oh shit! We'll do like a quick black people thing because it's
We got to talk about that.
We do.
Because that is really where the appropriation
But it's such a long conversation. But yes.
I mean, American culture is just
It's
black culture.
Yes.
Right?
yes.
That's all it is.
But so is like, and I have to say,
even white supremacists, neo-Nazis and shit, they have like hate rock or whatever. And I'm like, bro, you're still using chords and musical styles that were invented by black
I'm
people.
pretty sure there is hate hip hop.
It's gonna happen.
There is not. I think it has already happened. I'm pretty sure there is hate hip hop. I really do. I would be surprised if there wasn't.
But their version, instead of being like little or young, is like grand. I'm Grand Wizard, Grand Dragon.
Yes. But wait, let me say this one controversial statement before we go. I do think that black appropriation can sometimes be really good. And I say that because I am a K-pop fan.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go.
If it weren't for Korean people seeing R&B groups and hip hop groups and New Edition boy and all that shit and being like, we can do this, I don't know what I would do with my life.
Listen, yeah, I totally feel you. Sometimes it goes haywire, like when it takes a detour in India and you have rappers from the state of Bihar with songs called literally, I am a black N-word. That's literally a rap song in India. It's not a popular rap song. It's not on the radio, but it got some hits on YouTube, okay? We might actually have to pull this up. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Can I please? Is it? Okay, but but then also like Patti Smith has like, what is it? Rock and Roll Nigger?
Yep.
Right? And
Okay,
then there's like.
the rapper's name, Lil Blackout, Ranchi Hip Hop, Harami. Do you want to hear it?
I definitely want to hear it. Are you kidding me? Put it to the.
Talking about smoking weed.
Okay, I fucks with this. Wait.
That's culture, baby.
Okay,
That's
wait.
culture.
What is the song about, though? Is it about oppression?
No. It's like I smoke weed and I got hoes. Like that's basically what he's singing about. And my Hindi isn't as good as it used to be. So, but he's definitely not talking about oppression. Okay. If anything, he's like, I'm about to be an oppressor.
Okay. Never mind. Yes. Okay. No.
Yeah. But why not? Like this is how it's coming in. It's filtering in. They don't have any real relationship to the N-word, right?
Yeah.
They have no real relationship.
Not in India.
Not in India. You know what I mean? It's just like that's not. We've got our own hierarchies and fucked up racism and da. But it's like, so for them, it's just like, no, this music is amazing. Cool people listen to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. I'm a blank.
But
I think we just found our new theme song, by the way. I'm just saying.
I agree. Let's call him. Can he sponsor?
I don't think we need to sponsor. I don't think this guy's coming after us with any attorneys. Oh my God.
That'll be an interesting court case.
I am losing my mind over this song.
Also, the beat is everything. I was popping my pussy to that. I
did see that.
I fucks with that. Okay, now no, I agree. No, but
maybe you agree. Maybe
I agree.
It's a hard maybe.
No, but
soft
maybe,
no hard maybe.
Maybe because okay, I get less upset about that kind of stuff than I think I should. I think it is right when people get virulently upset with people of other cultures using the N-word. I understand, but I also think that they don't know the history. Americans think that everybody knows our history. There have been so many K-pop stars that have used the N-word in their songs because that's what they hear, divorced from any historical context.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get that it's wrong, but I do think black people need to watch our blood pressures and stop getting so fucking upset about it all the time and understand that we are not, like, our history isn't even taught in our own country.
Right.
So let's fucking give it a break.
It's facts, dude. It is facts.
Give it a break.
Facts.
I'm never gonna stop using the word nigga. Maybe never. You know, Richard Pryor stopped at some point, but I'm not.
Did he?
Do you not remember this?
Well, listen, I do know you be saying it like it's, you know, an indefinite article.
I do. I think
Okay.
nigga is the safest thing you can call anybody.
We talked about this
Because
weekend.
Nigga is gender neutral.
About when every time you're about to misgender somebody, you just call them that.
Yes.
And
it's the safest thing that
Your
you can call
pronouns are.
nigga. I know, and I'm never gonna stop saying it. But I do and that's why they say it, is because we say it. I'm not one of those that are like, and that's why the black man needs to stop. No, fuck that. But we just need to chill and recognize that
The cat is out of the bag with that word. It's not getting it back in there.
Exactly.
You can't.
And we're not gonna be able to teach everybody everything.
Right.
We just have to understand that some things are not going to
Okay, but what is
translate
the
properly.
future of the word? Because eventually it is, if it's it can't just stay in one place.
No, I like that it stays in one place.
I know you do.
We
We all want things to stay in one place.
I think nigga is black privilege, as pathetic as it is. It is our black privilege, and I'm not gonna get my fucking blood pressure up, but I will say everybody else sounds stupid when they say it. Yeah.
I think the people who sound the most stupid are Indians from New Jersey when they say it.
Sometimes some Indians is mad black. They got that.
I think the way
energy.
this guy, what's his name,
Yeah,
Little
no,
Blackout.
he says it really badly.
I think actually that's the better case scenario.
Really?
Then you know why? Because he's not. Well, I mean, he is actually.
He is.
He is fucking. He's walking with a limp, and you know all that. But
Yeah.
he's singing a song, but this is what he knows. Indian people in America should know better. Because Indians
In America, yes.
Indians always have a choice when they're really young.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to be black or am I going to be white?
That's not true.
That's 100% true. It's 100% true. Am I gonna walk with a diddy bop? Am I gonna talk? Am I gonna you know only use the verb be with be?
Why can't they be Indian?
Because there's no room for that. There's no time.
There's no room for that.
It's like fucking prison rules in America. When you are my generation specifically, you come in here, you got to join a gang. There's no Indian gang.
White
And
people
nobody's
are
gonna respect
already in the Indian gang. There's mad white Indians right now.
Now there are, right?
okay.
Now there are. But still, it's like, am I gonna look out in the streets? You go black, you know?
No, for sure.
When you're inside the school, you go white.
Yeah.
The code switching is real intense with Indians. I once was fingering a girl. Swear to God. She was Chinese. And she had like a Chinese accent. Mm-hmm. And I remember as soon as I started fingering her, she's like, oh yeah, you like that pussy, don't you? You like that pussy, huh? You like that wop, huh? You like that wop? Yeah, go get it, boy. You like that pussy, huh? I swear, I put 2 fingers in her. She started breakdancing. I swear to God. I swear. She popped and locked. It was wild. I'm kidding, of course. It's like, oh, you love that wop.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's hot as fuck to me.
It was really hot.
That's really
It
hot.
was really hot.
She just throws like full on.
I have a joke about how white people use blackness to experience pleasure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this is a big part of it, right?
Yes.
Because like I will tell the joke basically. I ran into a guy who was a graphic designer, like all white people are, and in Brooklyn.
As is required by law.
In Brooklyn, I was like, "Yo, what's up?" You know, like, how's it going at your job? You know, and how's work going? He's like, "Oh, it's not good, man. You know, I'm over budget and like on this project and the client's being a pain." I was like, I was like, well, what was up the other night? I saw you with the girl, you know, when we were hanging out. He was like, oh, you know, I did my thing.
Oof.
You know, Kyle put his thing down.
Oh no.
Kyle put it all the way down. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
That is a thing.
And then I realized something about this, that white people can only express their pleasure or their joy through blackness. They can't express the joy, the grief, or the pain. Like if I've been like, Kyle, what's going on with work lately? Nobody knows the trouble Kyle's seen.
That's so funny. Is that a joke that you do on stage?
I do, but nobody laughs because they're too uncomfortable.
It's such a good joke. Because there is a thing, you know, black people say they always want our rhythm but not our blues.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I never heard that.
Oh, yeah. Black people say that all the time.
I always the rest of the joke is where I'm like, it's fucked up when you look at music because it starts with the blues. I'm singing the blues to it goes all the way from that to Strawberry Fields Forever.
Exactly.
Like, how the fuck did you get from there to there?
Exactly.
You know?
And that's
like they don't have the blues.
That's
They're
the
like
thing.
the blues. This rocks.
That's right.
It's like,
Yes. And there's also the whole thing of they experience pleasure through blackness, and they experience jubilation through blackness. They experience like when they want to be fucking tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's blackness.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's what they
Yes.
put on. And like I'm sorry, it's because we're just so good at these things. We're good at
Listen,
expressing
it's 100% true.
But you know what black people don't really do in mixed company is really, truly, honestly express our pain.
100%.
We don't do that in mixed company. 100%. Black women are always known as the most confident, right?
Mm-hmm.
When white women want to be confident, they put on their nails, they put on the weave, and they're like da 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 da.
Yeah, they start snapping. They start snapping their neck.
Yes,
they start flipping their hair.
What the fuck it is, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yes.
It's the worst form of cultural appropriation for me.
It's gross.
Is the pipeline from black women to gay white men. Sorry.
Really?
I'm very sorry to say that. And then from the gay
white men
to white women.
That's where I draw the line.
I know, it's because you have a lot of gay white friends.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
fine, fair.
yes.
But I'm like, these are the foot soldiers. These are the real frontline foot soldiers of
You're
capitalism,
right.
or the gay white men.
No,
when
for
it,
sure.
it comes in the struggle of appropriation.
Absolutely. Gay cis white men are the white people of white people. of white people, of queer people. They're gay cis white men are the white men of queer spaces.
They are.
If you every gay cis white man in a queer space is a cop. That is a rule.
Wow. I mean, listen, it's just like they're always going to be the ones who are at risk of being able to be in the most toxic spaces. Right. You know what I mean?
And they're the ones that are able to move between those spaces the most easily.
Exactly.
Especially the ones that aren't super femme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I do kind of I think I understand why femme, gay, cis, white men like to appropriate black femininity. Right. But also black femininity isn't just cis black women. It is also, I think at this point it's so mixed that like black cis women and like trans black and brown women have created their own culture together. Mm-hmm. I really do believe that. I truly do believe that. Right. Maybe there are plenty of black cis women who are virulently homophobic and transphobic, but
we'll talk about your mom later.
Right.
Okay. Another episode.
She wasn't that bad. She's just for me. It was just for me. She saved most of it for me. But like there is a lot of that, which is unfortunate, but there is so much. If you watch Real Housewives and then you watch Drag Race, you're watching the same thing. You're watching a very similar thing. And I think in that way, it's good. I think there's some ways, I think ultimately what we need to do is band together and kill Whitey. No.
I was waiting for it.
But we need to band together in all our differences and really culturally appropriate.
So we all need to come together and just hate the Jews.
That's right.
Sam, just
That's
kidding.
Right. That's
JK.
right.
That is the hotep vibe. That truly is the hotep thing, though. That is where all the right wingers of every race come together. They're like, actually, the Jews.
Yeah. I wish they would just stick with the Jews because it's always first the Jews, then the blacks. We're always coming up.
Listen,
We're
I don't know.
Right
the Jews
there.
to me are always the end point of the conversation.
You think they're the end point?
I think it always comes back to the Jews as the final thing.
Nah. They start with the Jews. And then they move
They start
on.
and they end with the Jews because the Jews, for them, are like the Jews are secretly pulling the strings on everything.
Yes.
So for them, when they're trying to figure out why do we hate and this, hey guys, let's stop hating one another. Let's figure out what's really wrong, and then they start hating on the Jews.
Joshua?
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So listen, the first biggest form of appropriation in the West was Christianity, just being some knockoff Judaism. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and then of course Islam down the line, same shit.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So shouts to the Jews, actually.
Yeah.
Shouts to you, Sam.
Shouts to the Jews.
Our own personal media controller here.
Yes, that's right. He controls the media.
He is controlling our media. And he's hilarious. Follow Sam Lichtenstein on Instagram.
Sam Lichtenstein.
He's hilarious. He is truly hilarious. Hammer Boys.
He's amazing.
Shouts.
And he thick too. Are you single?
Yeah.
Oh, he thick as shit. Booty popping.
He's not gay. I don't think thickness works for cis women.
Oh, dude, no.
Where they're like, no.
Cis women love it.
Straight women aren't like, ooh, he's thick.
That's a lie.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a thick dick.
No. They like a thick ass. They like thick thighs.
You know what? You're not wrong. I had an ex-girlfriend once who was really obsessed with my thighs.
Because when you had them juicy thighs, when you was looking like Nicki Minaj.
She was like, well, did not look like Nicki. Can you stop gay dubbing my life? Okay? Please.
Nah, you had them thighs, bitch. You was thicker than a
She would
nigga.
look at him, and but the thing is, like every time she would see a dude who was like, she'd see like a chunky white dude at waiting at a restaurant, and I'd be like, "Stop it! Stop looking at him!" And she just like couldn't help it.
Because it jiggles.
You know what? I'm getting uncomfortable right now. I'm getting so uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. Let's do reply. You're still fine even though you're skinny. I'm sorry. You are still fine even though you're skinny.
I'm not skinny, but I love that. I love that you brought me up on stage the other night. You brought up my credits, and then you're like, and he snatched his fuck. That's how Sheria brought me up on stage.
Because you are snatched, bitch, and you work very hard for it.
Listen, I love you. Let's do a little bit of reply guy theater, guys. That was appropriation. If you have any thoughts about this, sound off in the comment sections. Hit us in the DMs.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a part 2 of this at some point.
It's good. It demands a part 2 for
I
sure.
think so.
And hey, maybe it could be a lucky listener who comes on as a guest. If you have something interesting to say, I don't know.
Yeah, if you're hot and you like black girls with a fat ass, please come.
Reply guy theater. We are doing
this one.
Show me which one.
Yes, Liz Wheeler.
Okay. Do you want to set the stage for this? It's a very short reply guy.
This is a very short one. Okay, so this one is a Twitter. This is from Twitter. It's a classic Twitter reply guy theater moment. Yeah. The cast of characters are Liz Wheeler, a white woman.
I'm going to be Liz Wheeler.
You're going to be Liz Wheeler. And life. So there's Liz Wheeler and there's lifelong Vol.
And there's Pod Chamettes.
Yes, let's explain. Liz Wheeler and Lifelong Vol are pro or anti-abortion weirdos on the internet, and non-Pod Chamettes is a fucking
He's just
badass
a rogue shit poster.
Yeah.
Just a rogue lib shit poster.
Yeah.
Which we all love here.
You're gonna do different voices for Liz Wheeler and Lifelong Vol.
I'm gonna be the quote problematic ones here.
Yes, as always.
I'm starting off.
Okay.
This is Liz Wheeler, March 30th, 2020. Right at the beginning of the panda.
Yes.
Right at the beginning. She's already finding.
That's right.
She's already finding the little talking point to talk about.
That's right. What is essential? What's not essential?
So churches are not essential, ellipsis, but abortion clinics are essential. Got it. That's a bit of black appropriation right there. That kind of cadence, I think, in some ways.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Go with that.
I'll take it. And non-Pod Schmitz. Yes, because abortion is healthcare. Glad I could clear that up for you, Liz.
Lifelong Vol says 600,000 babies a year would disagree with you.
Okay. I could easily win a debate against 600,000 babies.
Boom. He just aborted 600,000 rhetorically.
Yes.
That's been Reply Guy Theater. This is just us. Guys, this is just us reenacting our favorite comment flame wars on the internet. If you guys have comment sections that you'd like to see us reenact, long or short, we are here to do it for you.
They just have to be funny.
They just have to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That's it. That's
Goofy, strange.
Yeah.
You know.
Send them in.
Send them in. This has been Semi-Woke.
This has been Semi-Woke. Thank you, Opa.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. I truly do. I love you, Sam. I love everyone listening and watching. This has been the Semi-Woke podcast. Stay Semi-Woke.
Yeah, stay
I'm a black nigger. रांची के स्ट्रीट से हाथों में भीड़ है हेडफोन में बीट बजे कागज में गीत लिखे black nigger. I'm a black nigger. रांची के स्ट्रीट से